Radio Adelaide.
Well, we've been talking about the housing situation for some time, and one solution for a lot of people who have been really squeezed by the crisis at the moment is to turn to a caravan. The front page of the Advertiser today has a young couple who are expecting a baby, and they've turned a bus into what they say is going to be their home, and they want to rent out a spot at the Moana Caravan Park in the southern suburbs. But some residents there in that area are raising concerns about the rules and rents to keep permanent residents out of the parks in favour of higher fee-paying seasonal visitors. Yvonne Wenham runs the Onkaparinga Council Watch Facebook page and joins us this morning. Yvonne, there's a conversation happening among residents and others around this idea.
Yeah, definitely. There's a conversation happening around the conditions around the timeframes that people can stay in tourist parks. And at the moment, as we understand it and what's posted in the post, is saying that you can only stay for 28 days in each park and then you need to move on somewhere else. But you can only be in a caravan park for 100 days in total over a calendar year. So people are concerned that, caravan parks are kind of empty at the moment. That would seem like a temporary solution to a big problem. But these restrictions on timeframes of people being able to stay in a caravan park are creating additional challenges for people to be able to use them.
So do you think there just shouldn't be a cap? People in the current environment, the situation we find ourselves in, people should effectively be able to stay for as long as they need?
Well, I guess what we're talking about in our group is these tourist parks, not residential parks, tourist parks are owned by the council and leased out and managed by independent people. There's a possibility here where the council could bring in some interim policy measures to deal with what is a current crisis. What that looks like, that would obviously need to be determined. But there's a potential here for a real solution here, with some discussions around that with the state government around, well, what are some realistic crisis options here, and how can local councils, Onkaparinga in this instance, be part of the solution when these caravan parks are sitting here empty because it's off-season.
All right. Well, let's go to the council now. Simon McMahon is the mayor of Onkaparinga. And Simon McMahon, your council is effectively the landlord here. Is this something you're looking into?
Yeah, good morning, and good morning to your listeners. So our two caravan parks that our ratepayers own are the ones at Chrissy's Beach and Moana. The one at Chrissy's Beach is quite a small park, and the one at Moana is a little bit bigger. They are governed, as Yvonne has just said, under the Residential Act, which is 2007 Act of Parliament, which requires us to be deemed a holiday park and means that tourists can only stay for 30 days at a time, and then they have to move on to another caravan park. They could, we have those two caravan parks that are right next to each other, they could hop to the very next one just over at Chrissy's Beach. They could then go to Moana, and they can return after just a 2-day break, but it's only 120 days total in a calendar year that they could be in one caravan park, and that is an act of Parliament. But on top of that, at the Moana Caravan Park, we have made 15% of our parks residential. Obviously, that has a bit more infrastructure. That has to be for long-term living. You need to have things like plumbing and all those sort of services put in place. So that's 18 at the moment in our Moana Caravan Park, which is actually quite a good number. So we have 18 permanent sites there at the Moana Caravan Park as well. But for any change on the other sites, being the grass sites, it would need an Act of Parliament to change. And that's something we could investigate and speak to our local members about.
Is it something you're keen on as an idea?
We need to look more into that, something we can definitely investigate. We don't have, our two caravan parks are not the biggest caravan parks. You think of the sort of big four caravan parks, have sites everywhere. Our caravan parks are pretty constrained for size, and for instance, you take that Moana Caravan Park, you've got 15% residential properties. You've got cabins. We've done a lot of work putting cabins in because during the winter months that increases your occupancy. And then there's a financial element there too. which we have to have a discussion with our ratepayers of changing different things and how it looks and how it works. But it's definitely something we can investigate.
I guess your beachside ones, though, are they empty at the moment? As Yvonne says, if there's not many people in there, wouldn't you rather them being used?
Yeah, so I think in the absolute height of winter, there is some sites that are empty during the week, and the weekends they do then pick back up. But yeah, I mean, occupancies in caravan parks is the key to making sure that they're financially viable. In this case, that's viable for our ratepayers who underpin the finances of these parks.
So is it something you've spoken to the minister about or plan on speaking to the state government about?
It's not something that I have spoken to the Minister or State Government about. It would have to be a resolution of our council to do so, and it's something that we can definitely have a look at. And that's something. I mean, we're about to go into caretaker as of I think tonight is our last meeting before caretaker before the local government elections. But I think something like this may be something we could consider to get some advice on it outside of caretaker provisions.
You mentioned the infrastructure. If for example, this went ahead and the parks are both full, is the existing infrastructure, I'm thinking toilet blocks and showers and power, is there enough of those infrastructure requirements, or would you need to put more in?
So the shared toilet and shower facilities are there for the amount of sites, and that obviously meets the standard that we have to expect during summer they're going to be full.
Yep.
But the permanent sites, to deem them sort of outside of that Act of Parliament to make them residential, they're the ones that need to have the full plumbing and sewerage and all those sort of things to make them livable and safe over a long period of time.
All right. Simon McMahon, Mayor of Onkaparinga, thanks for your time.
No worries, thank you.
Let's just go back to Yvonne Wenham now, runs the Onkaparinga Council Watch Facebook page. Yvonne, what do you want the council to do?
Yeah, look, so there's about 30 semi-permanent residents that have become homeless because of the 50% figures that the acting mayor was talking about. So, there needs to be some serious action happening really quickly on this issue, not just for the semi-permanent residents, but for the people who live in our city that are in a housing crisis. We need crisis action, and that means crisis meetings with council and government agencies to come up with a solution as soon as possible, because what's currently happening is spiralling out of control, and we need really, really quick and urgent action on it.
Yvonne, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Yvonne Wenham there runs the Onkaparinga Council Watch Facebook page, and before that, the acting mayor of Onkaparinga, Simon McMahon. It's 18 minutes to 8 on ABC Radio Adelaide.